boys back with the great beard, nigga. What's happening, man? You know what I'm saying? We got a tough one coming up this weekend in Mile High, man. Josh Allen coming to town, man. And I'm not too sure about that game, man. You know, right now, Josh Allen, they got a lot to prove because there's no excuse for them not to get to the chip this year. They there's no Patrick Mahomes in the way, there's no Joe Burrow in the way. So, you know, this is his opportunity to get to the chip, man. Um, there's a lot of pressure on Josh Allen, not really to perform like that. We know what he's gonna do. We know he get busy. The pressure is not really. It's not him that we worry about, but you know, as far as pressure being on him and things like that, he can handle it. Problem is you know the team, rest of the team, gonna show up with him. And they showed up yesterday in Jacksonville for sure. That was a physical game, man. They showed up. He took a beating out there, but you know, they were the better team. And with Denver, Denver has a solid team. We got the receivers, got a good quarterback, but a lot of people aren't sold on Bo Nix. Our defense can be elite, and it hasn't played elite to me in like the last month. Let's see if they can get back to that. If they can get back to the way they were early in the season, we have a good chance of winning. But I feel like this game here, right? Whoever wins this game goes to the Super Bowl in the AFC. That's what I think. I'm not sold on the Patriots. I'm not sold on them. Uh, I'm not sold on Pittsburgh, Houston. They playing tough defense, and I think they should be able to beat Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh got a good. That's gonna be a good game tonight. Very good game. Um, it's not Aaron Rodgers will show up or not. It's he doesn't have the receivers, man. He doesn't have the personnel out there, and you playing a tough defense like Houston. You need the personnel out there, man. He has DJ Metcalf back, but is that enough against an elite defense like Houston that can pressure the quarterback and shit like that? That's a tough. That's going to stop the run. Pittsburgh can't run football, so it's going to be a uphill climb for Pittsburgh tonight. But that's going to be a physical game. You know, and I would favor Houston in that game. They got the younger quarterback C.J. Stroud. He's battle tested. That's really the only other threat that I'm really concerned about. What I'm saying is Houston, but I feel like I'm not sold on the Patriots. I don't think they can come into Denver and win, and I don't think they'll beat the Buffalo Bills in a playoff game. I'm just not sold on them, but that's why they play the game. On the NFC, the Eagles is out of here, and that might be the end of AJ Brown. That shit been brewing all season. The unhappiness, and things like that. So, that team's gonna end up getting broken up, and Saquon is getting older, so his usage rate's gonna have to dip down. They're gonna have to get a running back in Philly, like a younger running back, and take the load pause off of Saquon. And then I also, the Rams. I'm not sold on the Rams either. Yeah, they got a great offense and stuff, but they can be beaten. I think San Fran, to me right now, I can see them getting back to the Super Bowl, and they're tough out, man. But let's see what happens. I think they go to Seattle, and that's gonna be a tough game, man. That's a very tough game. I think if Seattle wins that game, I still don't see Seattle going to the Super Bowl. I see them maybe beating San Fran. If they don't beat San Fran, San Fran's going to the Super Bowl. I don't see another team that really can beat them. But I think that Seattle with that home field advantage, has the best chance. But yeah, man, football is interesting. Those are all great matchups, man, and that's what you want to see, man. Games come down to the wire, man. Like that's the thing with football. Games gonna come down to the wire, man. And I was watching the Knicks game yesterday. They beat the Trailblazers. Pretty good game. Um, it's a good day for sports, man. We haven't seen boxing. There was fights on, but it's like, who the hell? You don't even know who's fighting, man. But there was some fights on. You know what I'm saying? Like, pretty much the Zone is the only app that's really showing fights consistently, and there's no other outlets to watch fights, man. But we do have Teofimo and Shakur. And like I said, that fight is going to depend on how Teofimo chooses to fight. If he comes in there aggressive and allows Shakur to be Matador, then it could be a long night for Teo. But if Teo comes in there and box and uses his jab, uses his movement, and forces Shakur to be a little bit more offensive, because Shakur has to perform. If he wants to be a pay-per-view star, you can't, keep not getting knockouts and just winning. You know what I'm saying? Like, off just pure boxing and defense. Like, you're gonna, for you to be to get to that next level, even though we know he's a great fighter, great, talent, great skill, he's gonna have to take a little bit more. He's gonna have to be a little bit more offensive, man. He tried against William Zepeda, but William Zepeda, he's gonna just come forward and he's pretty much there to hit. With Shakur, with Teo is elusive, and he got, he's athletic, way more athletic than Zepeda. He's got good movement. He's not gonna stand stationary, so it poses a problem for Shakur. Shakur definitely has the boxing skill as far as the technique, the defense and things like that, but Teo, he can box too, so that's an interesting fight, man. Like, it's not some easy fight for Shakur. Like, he's just gonna walk through Teo, and Teo has power. Shakur is not known for power, so are you gonna be able to keep him off you in the later rounds? And can Teo break through his defense and be able to wear Shakur down? Or frustrate Shakur, you know what I'm saying? Like, but that's a tough fight, man. You know what I'm saying? If Shakur comes out a little bit too offensive, it could be a problem because he can get countered. But which he's too smart for that. But it's a fight, anything can happen. That's why they get in the ring, man. We'll see what happens, man. And what else happened? Oh yeah, you had Isaiah Thomas talking about stats and why Jordan shouldn't be, like, he lost his fucking mind, man. I done got on that shit a few times. I always ask myself this question, and I'll say it again. If I have to win a game, right, and I'm going against an elite mob, this is for it all, fate of the universe, and I had to pick a player to lead this team for the one game, do you take LeBron or do you take Jordan? Also, when Stephen A, it would make no sense that he said, and I always keep him, bringing this up, when he talked about Larry Bird and, who's better. Instead of you just saying, I think Larry's better, just give your fucking opinion and just keep it real. I'll take LeBron the first 3.5 quarters, and then I'll take Bird in the final 5 minutes, man, to close it out. That mean, so what happens is, in sports, right, who gets the ball crunch time? Your best players. So you pretty much answering the question, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I can't trust you to close out the game, then you're not really my best player. Now, there have been some certain exceptions. You have Shaq, with Kobe, you know, Shaq was the best player on the team. I'll say the first, couple of years. After that, I mean, Kobe, he was the closer. Shaq really couldn't hit the free throws, but Shaq could dominate the game. Giannis, when they won the championship, Chris Middleton would often close games, towards the end, he would get the ball because he was the better free throw shooter. you know. But game on the line, and I need buckets, man. You go to your best player, man. They always went to Kobe. They needed buckets, man, late in the game, man, because Shaq, they were hack a Shaq. Same thing like when you say with Larry Bird. Like Larry Bird wasn't just standing around out there either, man. Like Larry Bird will give you 25, 30 a night, man. So it ain't like he just good for the last 5 minutes of the game. Nah, Larry Bird can pass like crazy. He can rebound, play defense before his back was all taut. Saying he could shoot lights out. He could go on the post. So it was a lot Larry could do. And he was dominant, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, feared. So, you get a ball to your best players, man, when it's crunch time, man. And we all know when it's crunch time, we don't trust LeBron. He doesn't have that trust, man. Kobe has that trust. Mike obviously has that trust. Magic has that trust. And it's not to say LeBron can't do anything clutch. We're not saying that. But what we're saying is consistently, like, if I need it, if I got a group of guys, who's the first guy I'm gonna go to, man? And that's gonna be Mike. So there's that's just one indication showing you why he's better. There's plenty more, but that is one of the main things. Like, what do you do under pressure? So if Michael Jordan, I could give Mike the ball. We watched Michael Jordan steal the ball from Karl Malone off a free throw. Malone get the rebound. Mike steals it from him, bring it up himself, cross your man, and sent Utah home, man. How you arguing that, man? By himself. He cleared it out, the fuck out the way, and got busy, man. This is what they do, man. We watched LeBron get busy a few times, man. Like don't get me wrong, he has some clutch moments, man. But not no finals moment like that. Like, what I'm saying? Like, this shit is just about numbers. We talking about moments, man. Like, saying games, man. Like, winning, man. Like, what I'm saying? Like, not just stats, man. Like, it's more than stats, man. That doesn't, what I'm saying? Like I said, Drew Brees got better stats than John Elway. Who do you think was the better quarterback, man? Is Drew Brees better than Joe Montana? Would you take Joe Montana? Would you take Drew Brees over Joe Montana? Like, come on, man. Like, that stat shit is overrated. It's great that you can put up numbers and be effective, but doesn't make a difference, man. Can we trust you when the game is on the line, man? And it's not to say Drew Brees ain't nice. Drew Brees is a monster. He's nice. He ain't Joe Montana, fam. He ain't better than no Elway either, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's we gotta stop just looking at stats to judge, from a criteria to judge. It's part of a criteria, but that shouldn't be the entire criteria. Oh, he got MVPs and accolades and nah, fam. Like, how did you dominate? How did you impact the game, man? What was your impact on the game? And can I take your game and plug and play in any era? Can you still be effective? Would you be even better or would you be worse, man? Would you still have the same dominance? That's where, where it's like, all right, this, you know what I'm saying? Like, can I take your game and plug it in the 80s and see if you can win some championships against Magic Bird and them, and Isaiah and Dr. J and them boys? It gets tough, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, will you still be able to dominate the East like LeBron was, even when none of that shit's happening, man? Come on. what I'm saying? Like, so stop it, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just like niggas disrespect David Robinson. Like, they act like David Robinson doesn't exist. Like, fam, you put Tim Duncan on San Antonio teams that Robinson had to carry in the 90s, he's not getting any championships in that West, man, either. He's not gonna get past the Seattle SuperSonics, get past Houston, get past Phoenix Suns, get past the Trailblazers, get past Utah. Not with the team that David Robinson had. Not if you swap them out. No, he's gonna get the same results, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, to me, this is my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying Tim Duncan wouldn't put up numbers. He definitely has some numbers, but I think the results would be pretty much the same. So we disrespect David Robinson like David Robinson wasn't that dude. David Robinson was that dude. He was carrying San Antonio. You know what I'm saying? Like, but these guys get disrespected, man. Like they, people, they just, all they see is, oh, Tim Duncan, he got 5 rings. What about David Robinson, man? Like, what shit he was pretty much by himself out there, man. And as soon as he got hurt, they ended up getting the #1 pick because they couldn't win any games, man. They won 22 games that year, if that. Come on. And when he went down, they wouldn't have got Tim Duncan if he don't get hurt. It ain't like they, like he was struggling out there with them, and Tim Duncan, Dave Robinson got hurt, man. I'm saying, so I don't know, man. Anyway, man, let me get to my meal, man, my breakfast. I holler back at you brothers, man. Many Face Publishing, man. Peace.